All right, folks, buckle up because we need to talk about Abbe Lowell. One of the most powerful Democrat-aligned attorneys in Washington has now launched his own law firm. He says it's to protect people who are being targeted by the Trump administration. This is the same Abbe Lowell who represented Hunter Biden, when he was under investigation for tax crimes and lying on a federal gun form. Yeah, him. Welcome to Nellie Miranda.
Vocal critics of law firms' deals with President Trump are joining forces to start a new firm. This is just into us new this morning. Attorney Abbe Lowell will be joined by Brenna Trout-Frey and Rachel Cohen at the new firm called Lowell and Associates. Trout-Frey and Cohen both resigned their firm recently over what Trout-Frey described as the firm's, quote, capitulating to the Trump administration's demands for fealty and protection money. Joining us now, NBC News senior investigative producer and story editor, Sarah Fitzpatrick. You're the one breaking this story, bringing it to us first. We always appreciate that. But talk about why what might look to people on the outside as one attorney creating one new firm is actually much bigger than that.
Absolutely. So Abbe Lowell is a Washington institution. He's a veteran defense lawyer who has defended people against some of the most high-profile congressional investigations, criminal investigations. He was most recently Hunter Biden's defense attorney. That was very controversial. But what's important about this is it's a reflection. What people in Washington were telling me last night is this is a red alarm that within these large law firms, that these firms are making these kinds of deals and what their employees view as capitulations that is not necessarily a political statement, but ultimately about enforcing the rule of law. Is the Constitution going to be upheld? And are people going to get the representation that they deserve? Our entire legal system and democracy is ultimately based on that. And so this move, I think, is a real sign that essentially the center can't hold. And we're going to see some of this consternation start to change and to make sure that everyone kind of has the ability to get defended. And in a moment when so many people are the target of these executive orders, of being retaliated against, being fired, there's a real need for legal representation. And the question is going to be, is that going to happen at these big law firms, or will there need to be another way?
Let's be clear about what's happening. This isn't about protecting the little guy. It's basically a way to shield shady officials, defend the DC power players, and to keep pushing that same old Trump is the bad guy line that they've been using forever. Letitia James, one of Lowell's new clients, is facing a criminal referral for mortgage fraud, accused of lying on federal forms about how many units are in her property, claiming a Virginia home would be her primary residence on the loan application, while serving as the Attorney General in New York. That's not a political attack. That's fraud. And yet, here comes Lowell to the rescue, calling it persecution, like it's some kind of retaliation driven up by Trump, when Sam Antar, a Democrat, who brought it to the forefront. This isn't some noble fight for justice. It's a legal shield for the less elite. And the idea that Lowell and his circle are victims of political targeting, it's almost laughable, considering how they've used the courts to try to take down Trump and his supporters for years. They spent years dragging President Trump through every investigation that they could dream up. But now that the spotlight's on them and real evidence is coming out, suddenly they're screaming unfair targeting, political prosecution. This is hypocrisy at its finest. And let's call it what it is. Abbe Lowell is creating a legal safe haven, not for truth, but for cover-ups. It's the same double standards we've seen time and time again. It's the classic rules for thee, but not for me. You got it. What do you guys think about this? Is Abbe Lowell defending justice, or is he just shielding corruption? Let me know in the comments below. And if honest commentary brings you value, please don't forget to like and subscribe so you can stay in the loop. I appreciate you all for watching my video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.